Before we start talking about the plant cell structure, I think it'll be a lot more meaningful to look at the diversity of the plants first. I'm outside one of the most popular botanical gardens in Los Angeles County. This botanical garden has so much variety of plants inside. Let's go in, check those out. Mosses are the simplest plants. They are non-vascular and reproduce by spores. Ferns are more advanced than mosses. They have vascular bundles but still reproduce by spores. plants, from simple to complex, are made up of compartmentalized structures that are called cells. For this video, we would look at the structure of a typical plant cell. This is a diagram that I drew myself. It's a simplified diagram of a plant cell where I took away all these extra details which are not needed for the structure. Most of the organelles in the plant cells are same as animal organelles. Their structures are same, their functions are same, and these are the ones which are exactly the same as the animal cell. And these organelles, I have a link on the top. I made an animal cell presentation, and you can watch that presentation by clicking on the link on the top and clicking in the link in the description. But some of these organelles and cell parts are different, and the first difference in the plant cells is that they have a cell wall. If you look at the plant cell, outside the plasma membrane there is a cell wall, and this cell wall is very strong. It's made up of cellulose fibers. Cellulose is a carbohydrate, it's a polysaccharide, a glucose polymer actually, and this cellulose is a very strong material and builds this wall. In order to strengthen it more, there are some lignins and there are some pectins and there are gooey little polysaccharides also, and they make the cellulose fibers more strong by binding with the cellulose. So this is the structure that we are talking about that's outside the cell. Now the plant cells, when it comes to this, they don't have any they don't have any skeletons, they don't have any metals inside their bodies, but some of these trees can be as tall as 300 feet tall. And the reason behind that is because these cell walls are very strong, and these plant cells can be stacked over each other. If they can be stacked over each other, they hold the weight. If they hold the weight, these plants can be very, very tall structures because of these cell walls. The cell walls, they make sure everything inside the cell is protected, and they give strength and a kind of hard case outside the cell in order to make it strong. There is an organelle in the plant cells that's not found in animals, and this organelle is called chloroplast. We animals are heterotrophs. Heterotrophs means we eat our food from outside. When it comes to the food, we go outside. We have a structure called the mouth, and we grab the food and we put it in our mouth. In case of plants, they don't have the luxury. They don't have the mouths, and they cannot get the food from outside like us. So what do is they make their food molecules, the main required food molecules, inside their own bodies. In their cells, what they have is they have an organelle called chloroplast, and this chloroplast takes the carbon dioxide from the air and the water from the ground, and it combines those two molecules to make the glucose molecules. The main required molecule for cellular respiration is made in here, and that's what happens inside the chloroplast. Then after the glucose is made, then the starches can be made from this. After the glucose is made, the proteins can be made from that, and the fats can be made from this. So all these required molecules, the macromolecules, can be made from the basic molecules which are generated by the chloroplast. So the food is generated by the chloroplast inside the cells. And then those food molecules can be pushed through the cellular respiration in the mitochondria, energy can be produced, and then the rest of the cell can function just like us. But the food molecules are produced by the chloroplast. That's a major difference. Another difference in the plant cells is we animal cells, we have vacuoles also. We talk about this. But our vacuoles are very small. The animal cell vacuoles are very small. In plant cells, there's usually one vacuole or there are two vacuoles, and they take more than half of the space of the cell. If you look at this, there are two vacuoles in here, and they take almost half of the space or more than half of the space of the cell. And these vacuoles can be filled with the water, they can be filled with the enzymes, they can be filled with the pigments, and some of the food digestion can take place in here, and that's the vacuoles. In plant cells, the lysosomes are missing. I think the functions of the lysosomes is taken by the vacuoles. The vacuoles, they digest the food molecules, and that digestion can take place in here, and that's the difference between the animal and the plant cells. Another organelle that's different in the plant cells is that they don't have centrioles. Those two centrioles are missing. In place of those two centrioles, the plant cells, they have centrosome. And this centrosome is one structure, and this one does the same thing. It makes the spindle during cell division. During mitosis and meiosis, it makes the cell division. It makes the spindle fibers. When it makes the spindle fibers, those spindle fibers, they help with the cell division, and that's the centrosome.